Hey everybody, welcome back to a little bit of a surprise live stream. I wasn't planning on going live tonight, but I wanted to go live for a little bit to kind of go over what's going on the radar as of right now. We actually do have an ongoing tornado warning currently over in Maine. We're going to get to the latest on that, as well as the severe weather up in North Dakota, what that means for tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon for those over in portions of Minnesota in the Midwest. All those details will be in this forecast. If you're already new here, make sure to the like button down below. Make sure to subscribe as well. I would appreciate it. Let's get right into it though. So as of right now, this is the ongoing tornado warning in western Maine. This is currently just to the northwest of Portland, Maine as of right now. This is an ongoing storm that actually had a tornado possible label on it not too long ago. It is now a tornado warning that is currently moving off to the east-northeast. Let's hop over to the velocities and give you the latest on that sort of information. Let me put this over here. And here's a look at the velocities as of right now on this specific cell. The area of rotation of interest as of right now is currently just off to the west. That is just west of North Windham. So it is currently moving off to the east-northeast. It is not a quick moving storm. It's going about 30 miles per hour. It's not, quick, it's not slow, but it's kind of in the middle as of right now. And again, this cell will be moving off to the east over the next several minutes. Again, make sure you're seeking shelter immediately away from windows and the lowest floor possible, because again, this cell will be possibly producing a tornado threat over the next several minutes. Again, no confirmation of this being on the ground at this point, but we definitely can't rule out that something does hit the ground at some point during the lifespan of this cell. Now, anything that does occur will likely be brief and weak. I'm not expecting any sort of long track tornadoes at this point. The overall low pressure system that we have ongoing is now moving all into Maine for the most part. All the rain is currently shifting off into Maine, if not in eastern Massachusetts. Basically, everything's gonna be shifting out by no later than probably about 1, 2, 3 in the morning at this point. And again, Maine will be seeing some rain overnight into the early morning hours. Eventually, this entire system will be moving out of the area. But that's our ongoing tornado warning as of right now. Again, this system is currently moving off to the east. It's about to go toward the lake. I'm not sure what lake that is, but it is just west of North Windham. And again, area of rotation is currently centered just off to the west of North Windham. It's moving off again to the east northeast. Again, this is northwest, of Portland, Maine. So that's kind of a reference of where we are as of right now. Now, we do have some other severe weather ongoing. This is not our only tornado, or it actually is our only tornado warning, but we do have some other severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing on the other part of the country. Let's hop over to that real quick and give you an idea of what's going on here. We actually have one over in Michigan, I believe, as well. But we have several severe thunderstorm warnings ongoing in North Dakota as of right now. Many of these are producing damaging winds between 60 to 80 miles per hour, and as well as that potential for anywhere from quarter size to potentially hen egg sized hail. We've seen several storms producing some significant threats. There is actually a couple of tornado warnings, I believe, ongoing up in Canada. But as of right now, I believe those are moving off to the northeast. Rotations remain fairly broad with most of those at this point. The most potent cell, or really potent area of storms at this point, is now in portions of northwestern North Dakota. These are producing that potential for some large hail and damaging wind gusts. As of right now, we're having the latest reports on this specific cell near Springbrook that is currently producing around ping pong ball sized hail on the latest report about 13 minutes ago over in Williston. And again, that's just southwest of Springbrook. And you can really see the very potent area of hail right now. Very strong hail core currently just south of 2. That is again moving off to the east. Definitely a dangerous system that we're watching as it moves off to the east. We also had a wind report from about an hour and a half ago of 60 miles per hour with this initial line of storms. That is all moving into Canada now. We also have another area that we had an 80 mile per hour wind gust report over in Noonan. That's in Divide County, North Dakota. That was also reported not too long ago. That was actually, again, with this line of storms that is now moving off to the northeast into Canada. We also had a recent report of 60 miles per hour over in Bowbells. Now, the next threat for anywhere in North Dakota tonight will likely be this line of storms that's now developing. And again, I'm expecting pretty significant threats with this. It could go, again, anywhere from quarter to potentially up to hen egg sized hail, as well as that potential for damaging winds between 60 to 80 miles per hour with this line. As it moves off to the east, we have a very prominent outflow boundary as of right now that's currently moving down over to the east. That will continue to produce some showers and storms throughout the overnight hours. And again, ongoing severe thunderstorm watch is right now in effect for northwestern and northern North Dakota until 2 a.m. tonight Central Time. That will likely be extended into northeastern North Dakota, and we'll eventually have to watch that severe weather potential across the Midwest tomorrow, which again, more information on that here pretty shortly. And we also have a considerable threat ongoing as of right now over in Michigan. This is actually northwestern Michigan, currently producing that potential for some hen egg sized hail, as well as damaging wind gusts upwards of 60 miles per hour. That is currently moving off to the east southeast, and that'll also be a cell to watch pretty closely. And the latest reports are golf ball sized hail over in Ants, I don't know how to say the name, but that's also in northern Michigan. Again, that's moving down to the east southeast, so that'll be going toward Marquette, as well as Pemming. I've never heard of these places before, but that's going to be moving off to the east southeast. I believe the hail threat might be going down in the storm. Let's take a look in the latest scans here. It looks like the hail core may be shrinking just a smidge. It might be down. It looks like it was much larger back up to the northwest near the Great Lake region there, but it looks like overall the latest scans are showing a pretty much a little bit more of a weakening cell at this point. You can kind of see in the latest scans, it really peaked right over here in this city. I'm not going to pronounce the name, but that was pretty much a little bit of a black area there that represents your larger hailstones. Looks like we had a little bit of larger hail there. Now it's starting to weaken a little bit, so there might be still some ping pong ball sized hail embedded in this cell. Currently Champion and West ish Pemming are currently in this ongoing warning. So again, it's moving down to the east southeast at about 45 miles per hour. So that'll definitely be a cell to watch pretty closely, and that is what we got going as of right now. All right, let's hop back over to the tornado warning over in Maine, and let's kind of take a look at this one again. This is, again, our ongoing tornado warning northwest of Portland. Again, the rotation has remained not really too strong, but it was a little bit stronger at the initial point of the storm. There's still a little bit of broad rotation remaining here. Again, this is west of North Windham. It is, again, moving off to the east-northeast for those over in Maine. Again, make sure you're seeking shelter immediately away from windows in this tornado warning. As of right now, though, again, the rotation does not seem to be overly strong. This would probably be the last cell tonight that I would expect any sort of rotation in at this point. I don't think we'll see a whole lot beyond this in terms of at least Maine. Again, very low chance of severe weather still exists in southwestern Maine. This will likely be the last severe storm that we see up in New England for the rest of this evening, luckily. But other than that, the next chance for severe weather for New England is not too far away. It's going to be Thursday, by the way. Here's a look at, let me go ahead and show you here on the screen. We actually do have a potential for severe weather heading into Thursday. It's a slight risk of severe weather as of right now across almost all of New England. So this is, again, pretty big news. I know a lot of you guys from New England. I think a few of you in the chat are from New England. Obviously, severe weather is a little bit more common during the summer, but obviously a slight risk 4 days out is not common at all. So we're definitely going to see that potential for severe weather. It looks like heading into potentially into Thursday. So definitely another day to watch, as well as, by the way, on Wednesday, there is a risk for severe weather in the Ohio Valley. And then obviously tomorrow or today, depending on what time zone you're in, there is a slight risk of severe weather for those in the Midwest, and as well as up into the northern plains. And again, that's going to be all associated with that line of storms. I may go live tomorrow for this, kind of up in the air right now as of right now, if I will, but we'll kind of wait and see what happens in that regard. But as of right now, that's really all the storm activity that we got going as of right now. Let me get to some chat questions. And again, we have very potent storms over in North Dakota. As of right now, I'm not going to cover too much on the tornado warning. We'll go over to the screen for now. And if there's any new updates on that tornado warning, we'll definitely go over to it. But as of right now, the rotation, as I mentioned before, seemed to be broadening out just a little bit. Let me go over to the, by the way, this is the mesoscale discussion for tonight. As of right now, or it might not pop up, but the area of interest for the rest of this evening will be a new watch potentially issued into this region. That would again extend all the way out back toward Grand Forks. So that region, again, anywhere in northern and northeastern North Dakota may get a new severe thunderstorm watch here pretty soon. But this hail core, I'm telling you, near Springbrook right now, that is a massive hail core, right? And I'm pretty surprised. I don't think this warning's been updated. Let me take a look. As of right now, okay, so it's up to 70-mile-per-hour winds and as well as ping pong ball sized hail. So the latest update on this has changed. We're now up to ping pong ball sized hail as well as damaging winds around 70 with this cell. So no longer quarter sized hail, again, ping pong ball sized hail, so about half an inch greater in terms of hailstone size. And that's primarily with this area down near Epping as well as, again, Springbrook. That's moving off to the east northeast. That is definitely a very dangerous hail core, by the way. I would not be shocked if it was larger than that size as of right now. Here's a look at the correlation coefficient as of right now as well, and as of right now, not showing a whole lot. It looks like in terms of at least heavy not heavy sleet, heavy hail. Sorry, it is late, but in terms of heavy hail as of right now. But as of right now, there definitely could be some mixture of some, again, quarter to ping pong ball sized hail. Again, I can't rely on a little bit larger than that. As of right now, the ping pong ball sized hail report was falling at the time at 11:35, not too long ago. So that's what we saw over there in that area. There. All right, let me get back over to the live radar. And let's go ahead and look at the chat and take some questions. I haven't really looked at the chat at all. How you doing, Midnight? Yeah, I know it's rare. Actually, I was kind of surprised to be on this late, but I kind of went live for, I don't know why, but I did. Hey, Runway, how you doing? Tornado's at 11:46 at night. Well, it's actually technically almost 1 a.m. In Maine right now in terms of Eastern time, so that's just something to kind of keep in mind. Hey, Brandon, how you doing? Alicia, welcome back. Gene, how you doing? Welcome back. Isn't it rare for tornadoes this late? It's not. It's rare. It does happen, though. During the late evening overnight hours, which technically over in New England is kind of the early overnight hours, it does actually happen a little bit more often than you might think. So it does happen. Hey, Quad, how you doing? Welcome back as well. Keenan, we're looking at mainly the northern plains, as well as that one tornado warning over in Maine. And let me take a look at that tornado warning still there. We still have a tornado warning up in Canada. Tornado warning is still ongoing over in Maine right now. Again, that's north of Portland, but the rotation for the most part has subsided. as of now. It definitely could maybe recycle. I'll watch it still closely just in case, but as of right now, it looks like the rotation is, again, pretty much subsided. But I would still stay in shelter just in case. And up in Canada, we actually do have a couple of tornado warnings ongoing. I can't show them on screen. I can show the velocities, though. It's up here. I'm not sure where this is in Canada because it doesn't give me town names either, but here's a look at the ongoing rotation up this direction. Let's see if it loads here. The velocities. Might take a second to load, but there's a couple of tornado warnings up here in Canada. There's a little bit of rotation up there. I'll try to see if we can get on that radar here in a second. As of right now, it's not letting me change over to that, but we'll see. All right, let me go back over here. All right, cool. I love that you call them hen eggs. They are technical. Well, I mean, that's really the one specification that you can put on them, though. I don't know if there's really any other names that you can really put on 2-inch diameter hail. Marquee, yeah, okay. Oh, Marquee, okay, I gotcha. I'm a little bit behind on chat here. It's late, I know, random, it's late. I'm surprised I'm even up, to be honest. How you doing, DFW? Welcome back. Lance, okay, why does it look so complicated? Okay, so that place is called Lance, thank you. Is there a chance of tornadoes in Ohio on Wednesday? Let me take a look for you. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't really looked that far out. I mean, I have, but I haven't really looked too specifically into the tornado threat. I don't think, if there's going to be any tornado threat on Wednesday, it's not going to be high. I think it's going to be fairly low, but let me take a look real quick. I don't know if anything's updated over the last, few days, or really over the last 24 hours. I did make a forecast actually pretty early this morning. I got up at around 8. I made my forecast for this morning, by the way. I made it at like 8:30, 9 o'clock. So tornado threat looks to be probably on the low end. There is the tornado parameter values as of right now are indicating somewhere between 1 to maybe 1.5. That is still on the low end overall in terms of a threat level, but kind of what I'm expecting as of right now. Let me go over to this. Let's go to the low-level jet. Let me take a look at the low-level jet real quick as well. And again, if you're just tuning in, this is over in northwest North Dakota. It is currently, again, producing ping pong to potentially golf ball-sized hail, damaging winds around 70. Low-level jet will increase, it looks like, going into mid to late Wednesday. But, again, tornado threat probably going to be on the low end for at least, most likely, on Wednesday in Ohio. I'm doing good, Runway. Thanks for asking. Yeah, I'm a little bit tired, but... Again, if you're just tuning in, by the way, make sure to hit the like button. I would appreciate it. I'm assuming not many people are up right now, but I'm up. Canada severe map has a day 3 high risk. I don't know what that means in Canada terms. I have no clue. I don't do Canada weather, and I really have never thought about doing it. I know some people ask me to do Canada weather, but it's kind of difficult. By the way, this is again the tornado warning ongoing over in Maine, as I kind of mentioned before. Okay, well, I guess I got to restart my program. 1 second. But there is a tornado warning ongoing over in Maine as of right now, as I kind of mentioned before. And this is, again, the ongoing little bit of rotation. There hasn't been much in the latest scans, but it's still ongoing. Again, this is just to the northwest of North Windham, and I just threw my water ball over my keyboard, and now it's all wet. That's great. Okay. But that's moving off to the east-northeast. All right, let me get back over here. Let me try to get back on this screen. And here's a look at the velocities as of right now. I don't think there's a whole lot of rotation left with this, and yeah, it's just mainly winds at this point. There's still a severe thunderstorm warning ongoing for maybe some nickel-sized hail and damaging winds around 60, but overall, it looks like the tornado threat with this has gone really down. Again, make sure you're still in shelter until that tornado warning does expire. The severe thunderstorm warning, it looks like up here, has also been canceled just to the west of Marquette. So that has also just been canceled. Good news there. So the only warnings that we have now, again, there's a couple over, there's still 2 in Maine, but we have our Maine severe thunderstorm warnings over in northwestern North Dakota. I'm expecting a new severe thunderstorm warning here pretty shortly, so we'll be getting that here probably within the next minute or two, I would expect. Let me try to go back over here to the live radar. Thank you, Dave, for subscribing, by the way. Appreciate it. Hey, Devin, how you doing? Welcome back. Sorry, I'm behind on chat, and my radar is now not working, so that's just fantastic. Go over to... Oh, I'm not on the right radar. That's why. Okay, there we go. All right, here's a look at the radar as of right now. So again, we got a pretty potent storm, as I mentioned before, over at Epping going toward Ray. So I'm definitely not ruling out that this golf ball sized hail, potentially even a little bit larger than that. So we're still looking at some fairly large hail here just south of 2. Definitely a system to still watch as it moves off to the east. Tornado at 12 a.m. Yeah, I mean, it's rare, but it's not, impossible. You do see it occasionally. All right, we got our new Severe Thunderstorm warning, and I was actually pretty much correct on the threat. So, as of right now, we're looking at the potential for golf ball-sized hail and damaging winds around 70 miles per hour. Back up here to the north, it does not look like there's a new warning. There might be something that gets issued, but it doesn't look like it. Maybe a special weather statement. But other than that, the new areas included in this new warning would include White Earth, Ross, Powers Lake, Ray, and Tioga and Epping. So, again, make sure you're staying away from windows. Treat it as if it is a basically not like a tornado warning, but just make sure you're staying away from windows and the lowest floor possible, because again, trees can fall down in these instances, and especially with a storm like this, 70-mile-per-hour winds is not a joke at all. Let me go over to the velocities and take a look at what we got here. So yeah, we got extremely high winds here. Radar was just estimating higher. It's possibly as high as 70 to maybe 75 miles per hour currently near Epping. This is the area of the highest winds going towards Ray as of right now. So that's what we're looking at in terms of the highest wind speeds. Here's a look at the hail radar in terms of the estimates that it as of right now is currently estimating. Here's a look at what we're looking at. So over near Wilston, actually there was ping pong ball sized hail. The radar was estimating around golf ball size. Latest updates on this specific warning are currently right around ping pong ball sized hail. So it's probably right between ping pong to golf ball sized hail going towards Epping as of right now. And Epping probably is getting the severe weather right now in terms of the hail threat. And Ray will likely be next. Tioga will probably be right after that. Here's a look at the radar again. So hail is actually probably already gone through Epping. It's going to go through Ray here in a moment. And again, Tioga and White Earth going to be next in the track of that hail core here pretty soon. Anything for lower Michigan? Not today. Tomorrow, probably not either. Maybe on Wednesday, but it should be a pretty low threat overall. Good morning, Gary. How you doing? Yeah, it's, I guess, morning, too. Good morning, good evening, good night. Good afternoon if anybody's from Europe today. Actually, Europe is in the morning. Never mind. Will mid/west Michigan get hit Tuesday? Yeah, there's a possibility. Overall, though, the main threat will be damaging winds. I don't expect much beyond that for those areas. There's going to be a low-end tornado threat tomorrow, so again, I might go live. We'll see what kind of happens, but overall threat tomorrow should be on the lower end. It's primarily going to be damaging winds, if anything is able to develop. And I think a lot of them will be like sporadic kind of storms where they kind of quickly develop. Overall, tornado threat should stay somewhat low. I think, honestly, Wednesday and Thursday will actually be our bigger severe weather days. I don't think Tuesday will be that big of a day, to be honest. Tonight, though, into the overnight hours will be pretty big. We're still looking at an ongoing, pretty large hail threat, and as well as that tornado threat. Here's a look at the ongoing outlook, by the way, for tonight. We still have an enhanced risk right along the Canadian as well as the United States border up here in North Dakota. The overall tornado threat is still fairly low. It's a 2% probability all across the board. Nothing really to be that concerned about. The more concerning threat right now is that hail threat over the next couple of hours. It's still a 30% probability all the way through northwestern portions of North Dakota, and eventually that damaging wind threat will extend all the way back out, possibly as far east as almost areas like Devil's Lakes and Grafton, but that damaging wind threat will likely continue throughout the overnight hours into areas like Minnesota, going to the early morning hours as well. So it's kind of what we're looking at in terms of tonight, and again, that will lead into tomorrow's severe weather. Now, this line will not probably make it that far. There will be a new redevelopment most likely during the early afternoon hours, possibly over in areas like Wisconsin. There might be a low-end tornado threat, though. There will be, again, the little low-pressure system will be kind of spinning in northwestern Wisconsin tomorrow, so there might be a low-end tornado threat on the eastern side of it, which might mean maybe northern or northeastern Wisconsin or northern Michigan might see a low-end tornado threat tomorrow afternoon. That's kind of my expectations at this point. Hey, Kenley, how you doing? Welcome on in. .102 at Georgetown, Ohio. Yeah, it's the same time for me too. Is everybody's really pixelated? I don't think so. My end, it's excellent connection. It might just be you might have to refresh the page, or you might have to click the little gear button. There's a quality control in there too. By the way, just an FYI, if you're just tuning in for the first time, again, I would appreciate if you hit the like button, even though if you might just be leaving because it's 1 in the morning, that would make sense, but I would appreciate if you hit the like button. It does help our page out a lot. And if you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button. We are pretty close to 11,000 subscribers. I think we're like 150 away, but obviously that's not my goal for tonight. I was only going to go live probably for about an hour, which we've been live for about 20 minutes, so gotta keep going. Hey, Sniper, how you doing? Welcome. It's 10 o'clock in San Francisco. Yeah, San Francisco, it's not late for you at all. I would assume most people right now are probably from that area. Let me go to the warnings, by the way. The warnings, I believe, are down now, so we're not on it. I don't think there's that tornado warning. I don't believe is there anymore. Let me double check here. Looks like it might be still ongoing. The severe thunderstorm warnings are down to 3. And the tornado warning as of right now has expired. Okay, so the tornado warning expired. The other severe thunderstorm warning expired. We're actually down to 2 severe thunderstorm warnings. and no tornado warning. So the tornado warning over in Maine has expired. We still have tornado warnings ongoing up in Canada, though. I kind of said that before. Let me go and see if we can look at the velocities here. And it looks like the overall rotation is pretty broad, but this is up in Canada. We have a couple areas, one here and one here. There's a couple of quote-unquote tornado warnings going. I don't know what they call them up in Canada, but those are going as of right now just to the north of the United States border. And actually, they do call them tornado warnings, it looks like. Yeah, okay, so they do call them tornado warnings. Okay, so yeah, there was a couple of tornado warnings ongoing, and tornado warnings up in Canada seem to get issued a lot more frequently, and they don't usually always happen. Like, tornadoes don't always happen when they issue tornado warnings, but it's obviously uncommon up in Canada, so they do issue them just in case. But there's a couple of warnings ongoing up that direction. Oh, hey, Frankie, how you doing? I think I missed you. Tornado warning up in the Northeast has expired up in Maine. Is no longer going. The rotation really... Oh, wait. Is it still ongoing? Actually, it still shows on my thing that it's going. But it is pretty much done with. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't cancel the warnings already. But yeah, the storm has already moved out of the tornado warning as well as the severe thunderstorm warning. So it doesn't look like they'll be issuing new warnings up that direction. Canada's been getting hammered all weekend. Yeah, it has been. Canada's been getting hammered really for a while now. Pretty much all summer. You know, the jet stream lifted so far north, it is really just, you know, it's changed the entire weather pattern this summer. A lot of more rain up in Canada and obviously the northern plains and whatnot. In comparison to what's average. I actually made a new article, by the way, I posted on our Discord server, but if you want to check out our new article on the brutal heat wave and when it might end, I'm going to put it in chat real quick. You can click the link. So look at it. So if you want to go check it out, I just literally made it tonight, so... That's actually why I'm still up. I made it tonight. But yeah, there's still a tornado warning ongoing, but the ongoing storm is basically kind of ending at this point. So I don't really expect, again, the warning's still on. I'll put the warning counter back on here. Tornado warning again over in Maine. I'll go back over the storm real quick. Let's go over there. We still have that tornado warning over here, but overall, I think the rotation's pretty weak on it. Warning goes for another 8 minutes. You can kind of see the storm, the area of rotation was kind of back up here to the north. I believe it was somewhere in this area, but the storm's really been ever changing over the last several minutes. There might be still a little bit of very broad rotation here, but I just see a lot of wind. I mean, we're not seeing any reds well, now we're seeing reds, but we're not really seeing any of the combination of reds and greens mixing by any means, or even reds and grays. I mean, we're just not seeing anything that looks tight or defined here on radar. It looks like, again, a lot more wind and maybe some downburst winds possibly north of North Windham, but as of right now, again, I'm not seeing a whole lot on this tornado warning that would make me conclude that we have something ongoing in terms of at least rotation near the surface. If we go over to the little bit higher up, though, let me take a look here. I'm curious if we have anything a little bit higher up in the atmosphere. And it looks like we might have a little bit more up in the atmosphere in terms of maybe a little bit more rotation, maybe like some sort of funnel cloud or something like that. Something like that, but it doesn't look like anything major. We do have a new severe thunderstorm warning that got issued. This will replace the tornado warning and as well as the other severe thunderstorm warning. This goes until 12:30 Central, which is 1:30 Eastern time for those over in Maine or anywhere in New England to begin with. It's moving off to the northeast. The warning will be going again until 1:30 Eastern time. Tornado possible is still on this storm, so there's actually still gonna be a possibility with this cell that we do have a potential for maybe a brief tornado or something like that over maybe the next 30 to 45 minutes, but it looks like that threat should be diminishing. 60-mile-per-hour winds, though, and nickel-sized hail are our main threats with this storm. Mechanic Falls as well as Lewiston and Lisbon Falls will be kind of in the track of this storm over the next several minutes. And yeah, we'll have to watch this one still pretty closely, but I think the overall tornado threat should be going down on that. I believe that tornado warning will likely be canceled pretty soon. And again, here's what's going on in North Dakota. Severe thunderstorm watch goes until 2 o'clock, so another 2 hours. And again, we still got a pretty large hail core ongoing with this. And it looks like it's starting to bow a little bit. You can kind of see it almost. But we definitely have a lot of hail in here. Probably anywhere from ping pong to golf ball sized hail. Can't realize as large as hen egg sized hail as well. Hey, Ro, how you doing? Welcome back. Hey, thanks, Cody. Appreciate it. Northwest Wisconsin shouldn't be too bad. I think any of the severe storms tomorrow will likely be off to your east. But I can't rule out maybe an isolated severe storm or two. Again, main threat for you would probably just be damaging winds. 757, I think I just went over that. But anything other than that one severe thunderstorm warned storm over in Maine is likely just going to be, rain. I don't expect too much beyond that. No problem, Devin. What's the main threat for Ohio Wednesday? Most likely damaging winds, but all modes of severe weather are probably going to be possible on Wednesday. And Thursday might also be the same thing for the Northeast as well. No problem, Cody. What is the main threat for... Okay, I just went over that. Oh, you just repeated it. Never mind. We had some nasty storms last night in southeast Missouri. Yeah, there was actually a couple tornado warnings. I wasn't thinking, well, I saw them, but I didn't go live for them. I didn't think the rotation was too crazy on them. And overall, the severe weather did stay pretty minimal last night, but yeah, we've seen a good amount of severe weather recently, and again, that severe weather just continues through Thursday, and possibly even beyond that. But as of right now, it looks like Thursday will be kind of the end of this ongoing trough. Again, this trough that's currently centered, I believe it's up in Canada right now. I could be mistaken, but I think it's kind of in this area here. This will be going through areas like the Midwest tomorrow. It'll bring that severe weather potential on Wednesday to the Ohio Valley, and eventually on Thursday to New England, and all of New England's in a slight risk of severe weather for the most part. So it's going to be a pretty crazy weather pattern overall. Yeah, no problem. I wasn't actually thinking about going live tonight, but I did. Cody, no, I'm in college, though, for meteorology. Yeah, that's that question a lot, actually. But I do know probably more than you think in terms of weather. I've actually really not learned a whole lot from college in terms of weather so far. Very little. Aviation weather is really the main thing. All right, the tornado warning did get canceled, which I kind of expected. I was surprised it didn't happen earlier, but tornado warning has been canceled. We are still at 3 severe thunderstorm warnings, 2 again over in Maine, which 1 will be expiring in 5 minutes. And then we got this one ongoing right now over in, obviously, North Dakota. We also have 2 actually going on in Maine, which the other one, again, was a newly issued one. This is the most severe storm, though, as of right now. Again, producing some pretty significant hail, possibly up to golf ball size, and as well as damaging winds around 70 miles per hour. And as of right now, the winds are definitely still very high on this storm. I mean, we're talking probably at least 70 miles per hour, if not maybe a little bit higher than that. I don't think there's any METAR data in this area, though, which would probably at least give some indication of what we're at least looking at, maybe some wind speeds. Let me take a look at that real quick. I don't think we have any airports nearby. Actually, we do have one up in front of the storm, and we might get some information. It is over in Tioga, so we might actually get some information as that storm rolls through that area in terms of the wind speeds. This is look at the hail radar, though, as of right now. And again, these reds representing that hail core. Most of the recent computer model runs, at least in terms of what's being estimated, is down now to $half size. So maybe a little bit smaller, but again, we had golf ball sized hail reported over in Williston, or at least ping pong ball sized hail, which may have been as high as, again, golf ball sized hail. Again, I can't talk tonight, it's late. But that's what we're looking at right now. Let me go back over to the velocities again, and we'll take a look. Again, the METAR data was over here. I'm going to keep the METAR data on. And yeah, the wind core is just off to the west of Tioga, and this was taken about almost 20 minutes ago. So that's what we're looking at right now in terms of this cell. And we should be getting some information, at least on terms of the winds and whatnot over here pretty soon. Also, Stanley's out in front of this storm, but it might stay off to the south of there. We actually have a strengthening hail core now near Ray, so that's also something to kind of keep in mind. A little bit of a larger hail core developing there. That's definitely an impressive cell right now. Chronic, if you want to check out my article, I kind of put some information on there. Let me post in chat again. Has the heat wave whole breakdown and stuff on there, kind of what's causing it and all that sort of stuff. Thank you, Cody, as well as Ba for subscribing. I appreciate it, guys. Welcome. Will I be live tomorrow? I'm not sure yet. We'll see. It's kind of to be determined. By the way, if you want to join our Discord server, I'll put that in chat too. Again, join our Discord server. We give you all the updates and whatnot on when I go live, the schedule, all that sort of stuff. As well as you can send in photos and stuff too. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm expecting as of right now. I'm not entirely sure, though. We'll see. But this storm will be going over the airport over here again in Tioga. I think it's a pretty small airport, but we'll probably get some information on at least the wind speeds here momentarily, possibly sometime between about now and maybe 5 to 6 minutes. It looks like that wind core might be going toward that area, the strong downburst winds. Thank you, Maureen, for subscribing. I appreciate it. Can hail cores cycle like tornadoes can? Yeah, I mean, they can cycle. I don't call it cycling, but yeah, they can definitely, you know, strengthen and weaken. I mean, that's kind of what happens with a lot of the time with these sort of storms. Now, a lot of the time when we see, there's certain weather events where storms will sporadically pop up. They'll produce, you know, quarter or $half, maybe even greater sized hail initially, and then they'll start to weaken over time. That happens a lot more often than, you know, a lot of the time when we have a line of storms, it'll kind of start out as just scattered storms that are kind of more discrete or multicellular, and then they'll start to have larger hail initially, but they'll start to weaken, and they'll eventually just primarily produce strong downburst winds. So overall, it's kind of a complicated question, but they can cycle. And you know, regards to this storm has again been quarter size, now up to ping pong ball size hail. It's kind of peaking again. We've seen some spikes with hail, and we've also seen some weakening a little bit with the hailstones with this storm, at least estimated by radar. So overall, it is still nothing out of the question that we do see some of that sort of stuff happen. We do have a tornado warning ongoing, by the way. It's not in the United States, but there's still a tornado warning ongoing over in Canada. And apparently it goes for another hour and 25 minutes. That seems kind of crazy. But it's a little small box up here. I'm not going to go really too far over it, but let's look at the velocities as of right now, because we do get the access to the velocities, and it looks like the rotation's up here. The warning only is like, it's like this area here, and I don't think it's going to take an hour and 25 minutes to get out of that tornado warning, but that's again how they issued it up in Canada, so kind of interesting. Again, Canada is not run by the Storm Prediction Center or National Weather Service, so it's kind of their own thing up there. I think they call them environmental meteorologists or something up that direction. No problem, Cody. Hey, Benny, how you doing? Welcome. Hope you're doing well. I don't know if, Dusk, I don't know if you're watching, but I've actually done that before. That's funny. I played that game before, and you can literally spawn tornadoes in it. There's a game called City Skylines. I've played it a couple times, and they actually have weather in the game, which kind of is why I played it. How's my day? It's been a day. It's not been that busy. I thought it'd be a bit busier, but I've been doing a lot of stuff in regards to a few things. I'm not going to obviously say them here, but I've been doing a few things that are going to be coming soon to the page. So stay tuned. Other than that, not a whole lot has happened today. I've been pretty much just working on graphics and some other stuff. Thank you, Chris, for subscribing. Yeah, I think it's called Minute. That's what it's called? I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation for it, but yeah, you'll probably get some storms. It'll probably at least be another couple of hours. There is an outflow boundary actually ongoing now. Kind of see it right here, but that's the outflow boundary. It will be going through your region, might bring some gusty winds, but the ongoing severe weather is still way back out to your west. So if you see any storms tonight, it probably will not be for another 3 hours or so. Benny, we're currently up in North Dakota, actually. That is where the severe weather lies as of right now. We actually do have a few storms over in Mississippi, though. Yeah, Mississippi storms have been, they were pretty potent initially, but overall they are very slow moving. They are causing some flash flooding concerns as well. I saw Reed Turner, by the way, who's live stream earlier. Obviously, almost every storm chaser that does live streams here on YouTube, they were almost all live over in the Northeast, thinking there'll be a bunch of tornadoes. I don't know if we even saw a tornado today to begin with, but I wasn't planning on going live because I just didn't think there'd be a whole lot of tornado action, at least today. I think the overall setup initially just wasn't favorable for it, because the overall K index, which a lot of you guys don't know what that means, but it basically is the indication of how many storms or rain we'll see in terms of a percentage. And we were supposed to have a K index near almost 40, which is almost 100% coverage in terms of rain. So it's just very difficult for storms and really supercells to really rotate and develop if they're not discrete in that environment. We really need more discrete cells to develop for really much of any tornado threat to develop. Earlier this afternoon over in the Northeast, which we didn't really have a whole lot of a setup there today, and obviously that really showed off. I don't think we saw a tornado today. Let me take a look real quick. Take a look at the reports. I know there were some funnel clouds. I definitely know that. I saw a few funnel clouds actually off the coast. By the way, just to get a radar update here, over in Ray, there was a 63 mile per hour report of wind. That was at a 3 meter wind station. And at 10 meters, there's 63. So 3 meters, which is a few, it's like a few feet up off the ground. It was 60 miles per hour and 63 a little bit higher up. As of right now, though, no tornado reports. It looks like today we had a 66 damage reports of wind, and we also had 1 significant hail report. So that's what we have so far today. So that's what we got. The storm has just been updated. It's still considerable threat of 70 mile per hour winds. It's golf ball sized hail as well. Oh, man. Okay, I got you, midnight. Okay. What's going on, Vermont? Vermont won't be seeing much tonight. You will be probably just seeing rain. If anything, after that, you'll be clearing out. Your next chance for severe weather, though, will be Thursday. So that'll be a day to watch pretty closely. Yeah, Canada's pretty interesting. I don't understand their whole warning system. Obviously, the National Weather Service and whatnot, there's a lot more money invested into the United States version of weather services and stuff like that in comparison to Canada, I would assume, at least. So there's a lot more tools, and there's a lot more computer models and stuff like that out there too for specifically for the United States. So overall, I believe it's more because of just how much more that we have invested into the weather in the United States in comparison to Canada. Some things are not always the same in both regions. So yeah, there's been a little bit of flash flooding over Mississippi. There has been a little bit. Do you see the Canada? I did not, Kirsten. I did not. Yeah, I saw one over in New Hampshire. There was one in Keene earlier. Keene, New Hampshire. I'm familiar with the area, but yeah, there was one over in Keene, and there was also one again in Maine, which I was live for the one over in Maine, but overall the rotation was very minimal. So I went live for it. That was the main reason why I went live, as well as the severe weather over here, because we still have some decent severe weather over here. Most of it as of right now is up in Maine, and again, we have tornado warnings up here in Maine right now. I believe there's one right here. Rotation again was not that impressive. There was a little bit. If this was the United States, if this was the National Weather Service, for example, I don't think we'll have a tornado warning ever for something like this, unless it's like a strengthening cell. But overall, the rotation is still pretty broad. That's again in Canada as of right now. Not a whole lot there, but only a little cell to watch. Let's move it off to the northeast. That's actually the line, by the way, that was in northern portions of North Dakota not long ago. There was actually a tornado warning here right along the border, I believe about an hour ago, maybe an hour and a half ago. So we did actually have a warning. Here's a look at this cell, by the way. This cell's been pretty impressive. As I kind of mentioned before, pretty much damaging winds right now. The main area of damaging winds currently just to the just to the west of White Earth. And that's again moving off to the east northeast. Let's go and take a look at the METAR data and see if we've got an estimated wind speed on this yet. Yeah, I don't think we have yet. It's still 17, so we haven't gotten an estimate on the radar speeds, at least at the Tioga airport there. We'll probably get something here pretty shortly, though, so keep you updated. My phone is telling me to go to bed. No problem, Vermont. Or Monster. I realized your name was longer. Honestly, I know. Texas needs rain, and it's been brutal. I'm telling you. Even to forecast it, I mean, I don't know if I have forecast pulled up on here. Let me look. Yeah, this is my forecast. And you can just see tomorrow is actually supposed to be 112 now, by the way, and that's in DFW, so it's gonna be brutal, and it's gonna be hundreds literally throughout the entire week. Forecasting North Texas recently has just been painful because of how many people don't want the heat. Now, obviously nobody does, but yeah, it's been brutal. It's been a pretty bad summer to say the least so far, and I just don't see much relief coming, honestly, in the next 30 to 45 days almost anywhere in the southern or central plains. There just isn't a whole lot there at this point. But there was actually some rain this morning. If you're over in North Texas, there was actually some rain just into the eastern portions of DFW, just south of the Red River. There was actually a decent amount of rain there. The temperatures actually were about 10 to 15 degrees cooler than Metroplex today. And I believe DFW did hit 110 today. Yeah, Keene, New Hampshire, yeah. I actually played a lacrosse game there one time. I don't know if I played one. I think I watched one. Hey, Crystal, how you doing? No problem at all. Appreciate you tuning in. From North Carolina. I'm surprised you're still up at 1 in the morning, to be honest, like I am. I'm still up at 1 in the morning. Severe weather near Chicago, possibly tomorrow. If you want more information on the severe weather tomorrow, or technically today now, make sure to check out my latest forecast. Again, it has all the details for you, the timing, intensity, where to expect severe weather and stuff like that for the next few days. Mystic, I saw that. I don't know why, but again, if you're just tuning in, there's a tornado warning up here in Canada. It's going for another hour, and it's been ongoing for like 30 minutes now, so it's kind of weird. There's a little tornado warning up in this area here. I think the rotation's kind of up here somewhere, but yeah, it's really strange. Tornado warning goes forever. Thank you, Bart, as well as Sniper and Dawn for all subscribing. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been hot. It's been hot in North Texas. Have a good night, Vermonster. Appreciate you tuning in. Your opinion on the lake dropping? What do you mean by lake? What lake? There's a lot of lakes. Are you talking about the lake up in North Texas? Canadian tornado warnings are whack. I've never heard of a statement like that before, but yeah, I mean, pretty much what it is at this point. I don't know why they're going for an hour, to be honest, but yeah, who knows? The storm isn't that stationary. It's moving, at decent speed. Moving at least 15 to 20 miles per hour, so it should be out of the warning box pretty soon. The area of rotation, though, up here in Canada is embedded right here. So if you go to the velocities here, see the rotation. So it's in that little hook. It's actually a pretty interesting looking storm, though. I see, again, your inflow going to the storm. It's actually a pretty decent looking cell, but it's obviously wrapped around a bunch of rain, too. It's going to be hard to see if you're up in Canada. That's the ongoing tornado warning, though, up that direction. We still have a massive hail core here along Highway 2. It's going toward, again, White Earth, Tioga, possibly. Definitely an interesting cell here, as I kind of mentioned before. We already had a 63 mile per hour wind gust as well. Lake Powell, I don't know where Lake Powell is. And lakes dropping isn't really like, it's pretty common. Obviously, it's becoming more common, and again, it's kind of due to climate change and whatnot, but yeah, I mean, lakes dropping has been pretty common. It's been common forever. But overall, the whole lakes dropping thing is because either you're not having a whole lot of rain, or if it's rising, you're having a lot of rain. I mean, there's usually an in-between for most lakes, obviously, but really just depends on your climate. If you're seeing, dry conditions for several weeks in a row, you're probably going to see that lake drop. I mean, it's pretty much how the things work. It's not like the water just stays there. It's not like you have a big, cage over the water, unless you're, I don't know, unless you have a cage of water somehow. Honestly, what's crazy, and I don't think a lot of people know this in the chat, what's crazy is that tornadoes are actually not the #1 causing thing of death in terms of, weather events. What's actually the worst weather event is actually heat. And, the heat wave over in Europe has been, been horrible. But I think a lot of people actually kind of get caught by surprise, but it's actually pretty true. No problem, Jake. Appreciate you tuning in. It's been going decent on Unstable. How you doing? I'm pretty tired, but I'm still here. Hey, Brian. How you doing? Welcome back. How fast it's dropping? It just depends on your lake. And again, if you're having like 110-degree weather like North Texas is right now, the lakes are going to drop pretty quickly. They'll drop possibly as much as, I don't know how fast lakes really drop to begin with, but they probably drop pretty quickly. We do have a new METAR data coming in, by the way. This is not with the main core of the wind, but there was a 53-mile-per-hour wind gust reported at the airport over in Tioga. So that's our latest report there. The temperature and dew point, by the way, both 68 degrees. That's 100% relative humidity, which obviously makes sense when it's raining. But overall, again, this storm is currently moving off to the east, I believe about 30, maybe 40 miles per hour. It's moving actually almost 50 miles per hour estimated by radar. So that's what we got going as of right now. Wind gust of 53, so that's our latest report there. Again, we had a 63-mile-per-hour wind gust over in Ray, so that was not too much further west of that, but we're still looking at a very strong storm. It's probably still around 60 to 70. We still have a pretty decent hail core as well right now, and that's, again, possibly as much as golf ball, maybe even hen egg sized. Main rotation just went insane. Take a look. My phone. We have a new tornado warning over in Canada, by the way. All right, let's take a look at the rotation over in Maine. And I don't see any rotation at all in Maine, so I don't think that's true. Let me go back over to the Canada tornado warning. There's a brand new tornado warning that got issued for Canada, just to the east, and I don't know why, but it got issued very early. Do I sleep? Yeah, I actually typically get a lot of sleep, but I usually have a little bit of a pattern where I, go to bed. I go to bed pretty late usually, but it just kind of depends on the situation. Thank you, Hammernado, by the way, for the $5 super chat. I really appreciate that, Hammernado. Thank you. Appreciate you a lot. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're having a great night as well. Great evening. Thank you. That wind report might just come in, but I might be just being deceived by my eyes. Yeah, heat waves are horrible. Thanks, Jim. I appreciate it. Appreciate you tuning in as well. Oh, correlation coefficient drop. I don't know about, I mean, the correlation coefficient can drop. I mean, if we look at this right here, let's go to the velocities real quick. Here's a look at the velocities, and then let's go to the correlation coefficient. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, in terms of a drop, but I mean, we could pick out, let's just say this is a drop right here. It could show dark blue, but look at the velocities. I mean, and look at the live radar, by the way. Actually, the live radar usually gives it away. If there's a bunch of blue outside of the storm like this, it's never debris or anything like that. It's just, it's not. I don't know why it does that, though. It does actually do that quite often. If you look at the correlation coefficient, you'll see a bunch of blue here. A bunch of blue specks. I mean, if you look around the radar site, just a bunch of blue. It's pretty interesting, but overall, red is obviously indicative of just rain for the most part, and then obviously when we get down to oranges and yellows, those are usually either potentially debris if there's some sort of tornadic activity, but usually not. Usually we're looking for more of a dark blue or even something like this sometimes, but obviously this is, again, just hail. A lot of the time, though, when we look at the correlation coefficient, we're primarily looking at hail, and this is just a bunch of hail. Obviously, when we get further away from the radar site, we're picking up more hail. And if you look at the live radar, for example, most likely just a lot of hail back here. And same thing goes for down there near Highway 2 as well. It was pretty interesting. Okay, let me go. Let me look at that. Hey, John, how you doing? Welcome. Let me go take a look. A couple scans ago. There was actually a pretty tight rotation there at the very beginning. That's actually interesting. There was very high winds. There actually might have been a microburst. All right, let me go over to Maine real quick. This is very interesting. So over in Maine, there was a tornado warning on the cell before there was a new severe thunderstorm warning. Here's a look at the radar. This is actually extremely interesting. So this is a look at the cell right now. It does not look like much, as I kind of said before, but look at what it looked like before. Here's a look at the velocities here. Let's go back a few scans. All right, obviously, here's your tornado warning from earlier. Here's your tornado warning. Not sure if we can get to the huge brightness, but it doesn't show it here. But this is where there was possibly some sort of downburst, it looks like, or at least some sort of microburst, potentially. There was very bright color showing up here, possibly something very, you know, high wind-like. If we look at the live radar feed, that's what it looked like here. Let's say, again, 1221. And then going over to the correlation coefficient, doesn't show a whole lot, but that was where we might have had very strong downburst winds. And it actually got missed. It doesn't show a whole really well on radar, but on this radar at least. But it actually possibly was very high winds there. The warning is now subsided, by the way, so we have no warning. But that was a very impressive storm there. If you look at radar scope, it looks a lot better. I wish I had radar scope on this computer. It costs like 30 bucks though. I don't really want to pay that much money for that, at least on my computer. All right, let me back over here to the North Dakota region. Thank you, Mystic, for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. You should get paid hourly for this. I appreciate your super chat. Thank you. AK, how you doing? That area, I think it's Minute, if I'm pronouncing the name right, but as of right now, 50% chance of storms. If you see anything, damaging winds and potentially some large hail be your main threats there. Hope you're doing well. Thanks, Stable. I appreciate it. Glad you found me, by the way. Sorry, I'm behind on questions again. Yeah, Slippy, if you go on our Discord server, I'll put it in chat. You can send us photos, videos, anything like that. You can also tweet me on Twitter. That link is in the description below. And also on Facebook, Instagram, all those platforms. I think they're all in the description. Now it's confusing. Take a look at Canada's tornado warning. One is in CDT and one is in CST. Oh, Lord. What is going on in Canada? There's actually 3 tornado warnings up in Canada. But they're all for the same storm. They make their tornado warnings really large, too. All right, CDT for that one. And then... yeah, that's actually true, but they are different provinces though, so there might be a difference there. I don't know what they do in terms of the provinces, but there might be a difference there. The Discord is in chat. It's posted by Nightbot there. We're only 3 likes away, by the way, from 150. If you didn't like one, I would appreciate it. All right, here's a look at the rotation. I'll go ahead and show it on the screen here. To Slippy for sending this in. This was a look at the rotation at that point. It was brief. It only lasted a scan. It might have been a microburst too. We saw very bright reds there, but there might have been a tornado, or at least some sort of, you know, very strong, potentially a microburst over there in Maine. So very well may have been either a brief, quick tornado, or it was some sort of microburst. Hey, you're good, Kate. I appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you liking as well. No problem, Kay. All right, zoom back out again. This is our ongoing severe thunderstorm warning. We have a METAR data. I don't know if we're going to get another update on this, but again, it was 53 miles per hour at 12:15. It's again 12:32 now Central Time. I don't know if this area is in Mountain Time. I can't remember, but this is ongoing until again 1 o'clock a.m. Central. Or 12 o'clock Mountain Time. I can't, again, remember if North Dakota is in Mountain or Central. But as of right now, we got this storm is again producing damaging winds around 70 miles per hour. It's also producing, again, up to golf ball sized hail. And here's a look at the ongoing hail core. Let me go and see if we got an update on this. So as of right now, the hail actually may have spiked to that one spot. It actually shows as high as almost tennis ball sized hail. But as of right now, maybe some ping pong ball sized hail in here. That's what we see near Highway 2. So that's what we got going as of right now with this storm. It's pretty interesting. It's a pretty decent looking storm. Again, going toward White Earth. I think it's over White Earth now. Powers Lake will be next in track, and it's actually going to be there in a moment. Ross as well. Stanley maybe on the track as well. That's kind of what we're looking at right now. We might get a new severe thunderstorm warning as early as maybe 5 minutes, so probably get that here pretty shortly. North Dakota Central. Okay, thank you. I'm doing decent, K-Day. How you doing? I'm doing pretty good overall. Oh, that's actually GR2. I've never used GR2 before. I've only seen pictures of it. Looks like the same cell in Canada. The Canada tornado warning has literally 3 tornado warnings. It's the weirdest thing. We got, I think, 1 tornado warning still down here that hasn't been canceled. We got another one like this, and then we got a new one that got issued like this. And this one is issued way ahead of where the rotation again is way back here. It's the strangest thing. It's really weird. Obviously, again, Canada is not, nearly as, they don't get severe weather that often, so I can't really blame them, but it's interesting. It's different. Eric, it's primarily just the United States. I do a little bit of Canada, but not really any. I don't dive deep into Canada by any means. The only time I'll ever mention Canada is if we're talking, the jet stream or something like that, or some storm activity, even if there's some storms coming out of Canada, that sort of thing. But yeah, it's primarily United States, as well as the tropics. By the way, we do that as well. So if you're over in Nova Scotia, you'll get some tropical updates there. Yeah, but again, I think Canada, it's more of just, they don't focus primarily on weather. A lot of countries don't even have warning alerts for any weather. So I don't know what countries do and what countries don't. But, the United States, for example, I think it's probably, I think it's the most invested into weather program out there. If I'm not mistaken, I could be mistaken, though. I don't know. Oh, if you read the tornado warning, they actually canceled some locations, really. They just say canceled on the warning and they don't remove them. Man, this just makes they just don't make any sense on these, but it's interesting. That storm actually it looks really impressive. If you look up in Canada, it is a very impressive looking cell in terms of that spin. It's very impressive. Be cool to live in Canada. Yeah, I mean, it's cooler up there too. It's not nearly as hot. There was one time, last summer, I think it was. Last summer was a fairly close to average, if not slightly below average, over in North Texas. And it was like 78 in Dallas for the afternoon high. And up in Canada, it was like 100 degrees, like in far southern Canada. It was the weirdest thing. No problem, Eric. Yeah, the Canada storm here looks pretty impressive. It doesn't look as impressive on my radar, but it looks pretty impressive. Though, yeah, rotation, as I kind of said before, is up here. Wherever this is, but it's moving off here this direction. Maybe one day I'll do a Canada live stream. You never know. But probably not this year. Maybe next year. You never know. Canada's definitely an interesting place, though, in terms of severe weather, at least recently. They do issue a lot of tornado warnings, though. They issue a load of them. I'll probably stay primarily United States, but you never know. By the way, if you're not already, hit the subscribe button down below. Would appreciate it. We are 50 subscribers from 10,900. And also hit the like button if you're enjoying the stream so far. Would appreciate it. Do I sleep? Sometimes. I need to charge my phone. All right. Blame Canada. Canada's weather is actually pretty interesting, though. Canada's unserviced. I know, Canada, well, I mean, Canada isn't that I don't know how many people live in the country, but it is a very widely spaced country overall. But the only problem is the lack of software and radars up there. At least, like, a lot of softwares, like the one I'm using, just doesn't have Canada radars. So it just makes it pretty difficult. I don't want to have, I don't want to use radar scope. Radar scope is, it's good for personal use and whatnot, but just using it on a live stream, it just doesn't look that quality. So my only thing with Canada stuff. But Canada, it's a pretty interesting weather pattern. I mean, obviously, if you live in Canada, you get extreme weather. I mean, really, you do get extreme weather up that direction. You get snow during the winter. Springs and falls are all over the place. Summer's been severe weather mayhem at this point, at least in southern Canada. See you later, Sniper. Appreciate you tuning in. 137. Yeah, that's pretty late. Thank you, WX Man, for subscribing. Appreciate it. Welcome. The Canada radars actually are pretty decent in terms of the quality. They're actually not bad. They are pretty much up to date with the United States at this point. But the overall just the accessibility to them it's pretty hard to get them unless you're, again, I don't know if there's any Canada apps for them, but I know that Radar Scope has pretty decent info on those. Is this Discord app safe to install? Yes. There's like I don't know how many people have the Discord now, but I think it's at least hundreds of millions, if not possibly 1 billion people have Discord now. So yeah, if you have Discord, I mean, so many people use it. Thanks, Benny. I appreciate it. But yeah, Discord's definitely a safe app. If you ever want to join our Discord, follow our social medias, anything like that, again, all those links are in the description below. We're going to see our next Severe Thunderstorm warning probably come in here in a few minutes, so I'm going to stay alive for that. We'll see what happens. I don't think we'll get a tornado warning or anything like that on this. I don't think the rotation's been that crazy. Again, we might have an isolated brief or weak tornado with a storm tonight, but I think that threat should stay fairly low. Again, we have a low threat for those in North Dakota through areas of Minnesota going to the overnight hours into early morning tomorrow. So definitely a possibility, but pretty low tonight. Yeah, John, I definitely agree. All right, this warning's actually dropped down to half-dollar size tail as well, 60-mile-per-hour winds. The storm overall has actually been weakening. We have a couple other storms behind it, but it looks like it might be weakening. Maybe over to the future radar, kind of give you an idea of what we're looking at for the rest of this evening, the overnight hours for those up in North Dakota, because I know a few of you guys from North Dakota are watching right now. Let's kind of give you an idea of what we're looking at for the rest of the night. So it's going to be kind of an interesting weather pattern that we're looking at. So let me go and change it over here. Here's a look at the future radar for tonight. Now, here's a look at 2 in the morning, and timestamps at the top left. Some storms will again be possibly going through areas like Minute as well as up closer to extreme northern North Dakota. Again, closer to 4 to 5 in the morning. Storms are likely going to kind of lift off to the north and northeast unless some sort of outflow boundary kind of triggers some storms. By 6 to 7 o'clock, we'll still see maybe some isolated shower and storm activity. Tomorrow is when we'll have the back end of the low pressure system bring some showers and storms. These could potentially produce some damaging winds. Tornado threat is not expected with these per se, but they may produce again maybe some very isolated, quarter, maybe half-dollar size hail, maybe some 60 to 65 mile per hour wind gusts. After that, that should all move down to the south and southeast. Here's a look at the timing for Wisconsin, by the way, tomorrow. Not an overly impressive looking setup. Let me go to the latest scan here. Not an overly impressive setup here. You can kind of see the overall storm activity tomorrow seems to be, again, sporadic storms kind of popping up, maybe producing some strong downburst winds, maybe some little bit of hail, but overall, the overall severe threat should stay pretty low. Now, with the low pressure system, if any storms kind of develop near it, there might be a little bit of rotation. That could potentially pose a tornado threat. You can kind of see it here. Here's your low pressure system. If we have any storms kind of close to it, those might produce a low-end tornado threat, but overall, the severe weather should stay pretty minimal, I would say, for tomorrow. That's what we're looking at as of right now for them. South Mississippi should be fine. I don't expect too much tonight. Pretty much low-end storm chance. Most of the storms are staying up to their north anyways. Where I'll find the Canada warnings. I think Radar Scope has it. Midnight, I have absolutely no clue. I've never compressed videos. I think you can just look it up on Google, though. I'm pretty sure they're free to do. Sorry, I missed a lot of messages here. You're wondering because of the reviews? Was there actually bad reviews on Discord? I didn't know that. Hey, Rainy, how you doing? Welcome back. Can't wait for Florida to get somewhere soon. Canada will probably, there's been a lot of rain, I think, recently. There was that like upper level disturbance, I think, this past weekend. But overall, Canada's been pretty minimal. Not a whole lot of flooding. Kitty, I recommend Radar Scope or My Radar. Chill in North Dakota, there you go. Yeah, overall, I think the severe weather over in Canada, or not Canada, I keep saying Canada, over in North Dakota, though, should stay fairly minimal for the rest of the night. Again, most of the severe weather action will probably stay north of Minot, I think that's how you say it. But anywhere basically north of Highway 2, we'll see possibly some severe weather. Kind of your cutoff line, I think, for tonight will probably be here. Anywhere up to the north of here might see some storms, but overall, I think that's kind of your cutoff line. Can't rule out some storms, though. It depends on outflow boundaries and whatnot. Definitely not out of the question that we might see a couple kind of pop up here and there. Might produce some extra storms. Stuck in extreme weather at 2 a.m. It's late. Bismarck won't see anything. I don't expect much in Bismarck. Probably nothing. I got you, Skywatcher. I got you. I've seen it already before. I've seen that stuff. I appreciate it, though. Chicago, wow, I can't talk. Chicago, Illinois. Chicago, I've never been to before, though. You're having a burger with chips. That actually sounds pretty good. Didn't say chips right, but that's okay. Yeah, Discord's fine. Honestly, if you just don't click on people's links that they send in private messages, you're fine. I've never had an issue. I mean, I've had Discord for several years. I've never had any issues. Fourth tornado warning in Canada. I don't know where my phone went. Let me look. Let's take a look at the Canada tornado warnings. Where's the? I don't see the fourth one. Actually, one of the first one there got expired or got canceled by the environmental meteorologist up there in Canada. How's Indiana looking? For when? Tonight you're gonna be fine, but I think you have a potential. I don't know if you have a potential tomorrow, but you do have possibly I don't know if you'll see much even. I mean, if you're in eastern portions of Indiana, maybe something on Wednesday, but overall I don't think you'll see much. It'll be pretty low end chance for any rain even in Indiana. The instant weather app, I've never heard of it, but oh, for Canada, okay, gotcha. That would be why. That's why I have never heard of it. I gotcha. So yeah, probably, I mean, you kind of got a lot of people I know. I think a few of you guys are from Canada in this chat. Yeah, gotta kind of look into that stuff. I never looked into any of the Canadian apps, but I know Radar Scope does cover Canada, so it's actually pretty decent too. I think you have to pay like $10 though up front for it. Have a good night, Mystic. Appreciate you tuning in. Oh, is there? Oh, are you talking about instant weather? Is that like a person? I gotcha. Thank you, Braden, as well as Karma for subscribing. I appreciate it, guys. Welcome. This AccuWeather's radar accurate. I mean, it's the same radar. I think AccuWeather uses like the same exact radar as every other platform. Like if you look at like a local news app or something, most of the radars that they use are pretty much the same things. They usually have the same features too. So I mean, those are pretty, you know, low end radars. They're free, obviously. They're good. They're good if you just need, you know, some quick weather information. But overall, definitely rely on people like, you know, possibly me or even just your like your local weather guy for information, because they will not tell you everything that you need to know. They don't, you know, weather apps are just not designed that way. They don't have all the information for you. You got to go find that stuff, you know, on TV and whatnot. And even here, I provide here. We do have a new Severe Thunderstorm warning that just got issued, by the way. This does include Bow Bells as well as Sherwood, Ken Mayer, as well as Stanley, Carpio, and Mohall. Those are the main areas included for the potential for damaging winds up to 60, and as well as maybe some quarter-sized hail. So this warning has been going downhill since then. The only hail course seems to be possibly north of Ross, so that's what we're looking at in terms of the storm at this point as of right now. What do you think of Radar Omega? I've never used it. I can't give you an opinion. And I probably will never use it, to be honest, but I have never used it. All the tornado warnings are canceled up in Canada? Or were they? Take a look again. Yeah, they actually were. They actually all got canceled at the same time. Yeah, the only apps I can really recommend is My Radar and Radar Scope, because those are the really only two I've ever used, and I probably will ever use, because I just don't see a use for other radar apps in general. Obviously, I use this, but I mean, it's not really the only radar that I could ever probably use for live streaming. I'm not opposed to using other weather apps, but I just don't see a need for it at this point. But yeah, honestly, going into Wednesday, I do think we'll have a potential for a severe weather outbreak in the Ohio Valley. We have 13 more minutes until the next outlook from the Storm Prediction Center, I believe. Should be coming. Actually, I think it's coming out early. Okay, so we actually have our new outlook coming in right now for tomorrow, or actually technically today. Let me go over to that. This is actually pretty much coming in now, which is actually awesome. So here's like the severe weather for tomorrow. The risk is a slight risk. It's actually been updated. So it goes through again Minnesota and northern Wisconsin and really northwestern Michigan. Marginal risk goes into actually Michigan, and actually a marginal risk does exist all the way through areas like New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. Those areas are all now included in that threat. So the main threats tomorrow, likely the tornado threat will stay pretty low. That's going to exist through northern Michigan. So again, anywhere from west of Marquette as well as north of Marshfield, that potential for maybe an isolated tornado does exist tomorrow. The main threat though tomorrow will likely be damaging winds, and that's your damaging wind outlook, 15% probability within a 25-mile radius. Hail threat actually is the same threat as well, so that's what we're looking at for tomorrow. Going into the following day, I don't know if they've updated this yet. As of now, there's a margin. Okay, so this must be new. So there's a marginal risk of severe weather up in southern Oklahoma, as well as northern portions of North Texas. There's also a marginal threat out that way. This might be the recent update I think it is. So slight risk also through areas of Ohio as well as northern Kentucky, eastern Indiana. Marginal risk outside of that goes into western areas of New York. And I believe, let's look at the tornado threat. It's a low threat, but it does exist. As of now, that does exist from Cleveland to Columbus, Mansfield. Basically, a good portion of Ohio is included in that low-end chance for a tornado. And again, our next update comes out, in the afternoon, so we might have a little bit of an update on that. Might get increased. Damaging wind going to be the main threat, though, as of right now. I don't know if there's a hatched area. Let's take a look. And as of right now, no hatched area. So we're primarily looking at those typical severe weather threats. But again, I can't rule out that we see something a bit more beyond that. There's also a marginal risk of severe weather for let's just consider today as Tuesday. So Wednesday, this is for Wednesday, there's a marginal threat up in North Dakota. So that's our latest updates on the severe weather potential that literally just came in. So that is all what we're looking at. So the latest updates there. I think I missed some. Hey, Courtney, how you doing? Free radar apps for the United States. I recommend, again, my radar for something that's free. I'm northern Georgia area. Hey, no problem, Eric. Appreciate it. Have a great night. Sorry, I'm missing a lot of questions here. I'm in Ohio. Do you think the wind? Yeah, the wind's going to be the main threat in Ohio, for sure. Ohio will probably be the main threat wind. There might be a couple of tornadoes as well. Looks like the environment might be favorable a little bit higher to the north for maybe a few tornadoes, but that would probably be like Great Lakes or north of that. No problem, Kata. It's got a thunderstorm in West Tennessee. What day are you talking about? Take a look. I don't think we're going to see anything in the near term. Possibly, possibly on Wednesday, so technically tomorrow. But overall, I think the severe weather will be pretty minimal. I don't expect much in terms of severe weather there. That's my outlook at this point. Having a good night. It's been busy. It's been a busy day for sure. Thank you, Brett, Courtney, and Gary for all subscribing. I do appreciate it, guys. Welcome. Thank you. Appreciate everybody subscribing tonight. If you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Like as well if you have been enjoying the stream so far. Again, I'm up pretty late. I'm actually planning on getting going live, but I did. You did that? All right. Air Canada, non-daylight savings time. Okay, I got you. Yeah, I was thinking the Providences had something to do with that. Lived in Ohio for years in Greenville, and the storms out there are awesome. The storms, honestly, in the Ohio Valley are not as bad as a lot of people think. They do obviously cause some, damage, but Ohio storms, for some reason, just have a lot more ordinariness to them. It's kind of weird. They're much more ordinary storms. They're usually producing lightning and thunder and whatnot, which is pretty, again, ordinary. Not usually that severe, though. A lot of them typically are not severe. Now, obviously, we do have to see some severe weather. Obviously, on Thursday, there's going to be, or not Thursday, Wednesday, there's going to be more severe weather. But overall, the threat level is still there. But most of the storms, for some reason, just seem to always be kind of on the low end in terms of severe weather over that direction. It's really weird there. Alrighty. I don't trust the weather in Ohio. Hey, I'll keep you up there with the latest on any of the Ohio weather. Obviously, we do the United States. So, again, if you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Make sure to like as well. Midnight, people say that about every state. People say there's bipolar weather in every state. That does include Texas, by the way. I know, Gabe, it's crazy. I would have been live a lot longer today, and I know a lot of the storm chasers were live this afternoon, so that's why I didn't go live, because unless there was something that I had to cover, if there's going to be a few tornado warnings, I would have gone live, but a lot of storm chasers, again, Reed Timmer was live. I was actually commenting on his chat a little bit, but yeah, I mean, he was live. Obviously, I believe Brandon was live as well. A few other people. I don't know what the other people on YouTube anymore, but there was a few people that are live. And yeah, I didn't really have plans to go live earlier unless there was some sort of, if there's more than like 2 tornado warnings or there's something that need to be covered, I would have gone live. But I just didn't see much of a point of it since we already had storm chasers out there and whatnot. But yeah, I'm kind of, I do late. I don't know why, but I stay up late for some reason. Kind of a late night person, so I do live streams like this occasionally. I want to change the warning count. It's technically 2, isn't it? Midnight, the only one I can really recommend is Reed Timmer. It's really the only one I've actually watched in terms of storm chasing. And he's actually subscribed again to our YouTube channel. So, What about Maine? Maine will just be primarily rain for the rest of the night. I don't think there's any warnings over that direction at this point. And yeah, I think it's just mainly rain over here. Just a bunch of rain. Maybe an isolated, you know, a few rumbles of thunder possibly, but I think the severe weather component at this point is pretty much gone down to near zero. We actually have a report coming in Ray, by the way, of golf ball sized hail from earlier. That was from this storm that's now moving through areas going toward Kenmare, and as well as Toley and Bowbells. So latest update there. Hey Robbie, how you doing? Yeah, there was a tornado warning. I was actually live for that, AJ, so we're covering the tornado warning over in Maine a little bit earlier. All right, if you haven't already, make sure to join our Discord. I'm going to put our socials in chat as well. Again, make sure to follow us on those platforms. I do appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. That's going to be it for this live stream. It's going to be quick and pretty, you know, it's obviously been pretty quick. But I do appreciate everybody tuning in. And again, make sure to check out our latest forecast if you want more details on the next 3 days in terms of severe weather. Again, there will be a possibility of Ohio Valley as well as the Midwest as well. And technically today, we're going to see some severe weather in the Midwest as well as into New England on Thursday. There will be a slight risk of severe weather almost in all of New England. So get the latest details on that. Again, our latest forecast. You can click our little channel and get the latest on that. Again, it's like 2 in the morning for me right now, so I get to get to bed. But I do appreciate everybody tuning in. I might go live again tomorrow. If not, I will probably go live either on Wednesday or Thursday. Most likely Wednesday, probably most likely on Thursday too. I don't know if I'll go live though tomorrow. We'll see. Make sure to like button down below. Again, make sure to subscribe. Click the bell icon, by the way, get notified when I go live. It's the little bell that literally looks like a bell down below. Click the button, click all to get notified on live streams and whatnot. I do appreciate everybody tuning in as always. Hope you guys all have a great, fantastic rest of your night. And we will see you again pretty soon. Make sure to join our Discord and check out our social medias as well. And we'll see you again soon.